money, unfortunately, most regrettably, anti-capitalistically, does give government a shot at the pay caps for those TARP firms. I agree with that. But the Fed is talking about 5,000 banks. And soon those TARP firms will be de-TARP. Now, let me pose this question to you, both of you. Leverage ratios. Though when the SEC failed to enforce leverage borrowing ratios, that was the problem, not compensation. And secondly, Peter, capital reserves are too low. So we need less leverage and more capital to stop excessive risk-taking. And finally, the goofball, stupid, Dumbo rating agencies that signed off on the mortgage-backed pools and the CDOs, right? They're the ones to blame, Peter Morisi. It has nothing to do with pay.
Don't forget the Fed, easy money.
All right, going to get a chance, so you two guys going to gang up on me.
I stand amended. The Fed's easy money. I just don't see the link to compensation, Peter.
Well, we did reward people based on the volume of loans, and so, quite simply, they made any loans that they could. And we did basically reward people on the volume of swaps they could write, so we wrote swaps on top of swaps on top of swaps. I want to execute the bond rating agencies.
Why is that an argument for a cap rather than a different structure of compensation? Well, but why? It's a non sequitur, Peter.
No, I want a different structure of compensation. I want
higher. But what about
caps?
Let me finish. The question is about caps.
No, let me finish. I want higher caps. I want a changed compensation structure, and I want swaps backed up by real assets, not what AIG did, so that if they come to pay out, there's money to put there. Instead, we wrote 4 times as many swaps as we had mortgages, so these guys could get their big bonuses, and then there was no capital to back it up, and that's how we ended up with Lehman Brothers causing so much disruption and having to bail out AIG when we should never bail anybody out.
The question is about pay caps,
and
not
what I'm trying to
structure.
say that pay caps are a necessary complement.
No, they're not. You've made no case whatsoever. You went and talked about some reasonable stuff about capital requirements, but the question is pay caps. There's no link between the level of compensation and the level of risk.
This is
just envy. This is just recession, revenge. It has
please don't talk to me about envy.
Well, that's what it is.
Let's not go down that path, okay? Let's talk. I'm talking about the structure of compensation, how you compensate people, not how much they earn.
Do you think there should be caps, yes or no?
I do think there should be.
Okay, then we aren't just talking about the structure, we're talking about caps. And that is envy.
Well, I'm talking about capping the amount of net income that goes into compensation so adequate profits are put aside in good years to cover bad. That's the basic problem.
That's up to shareholders. That's up to shareholders what are adequate.
The shareholders didn't fulfill their responsibility, and now we've got a crisis on our hands.
I don't want Nicolas Sarkozy, the G20.
It's not Nicolas Sarkozy, it's Ben Bernanke.
I don't want them to decide. See, Peter,
Bernanke's doing it so Sarkozy doesn't do it worse.
Peter, you're making good points, but I'm telling you the solution to your good points is enforce leverage ratios, all right? Add more capital, get a better structure of rating agencies, and to Jerry Bowyer's additional point, stop the Fed from massive easy money with negative real interest rates, which I might add they're doing all over again, which may bubble us up again. Peter, I do not see what the link is to compensation, but I do see the government interfering to a free enterprise matter that is best left to shareholders and the boards of directors, Peter Morisi.
I think you're. But at the end of the day, we did have to bail them out.
We didn't.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree, even though you're identifying the right branches of that tree, Peter Morisi.
Well, I guess we agree to disagree. I think how you compensate bankers, what incentives you provide them, is a legitimate concern of regulators. If you have situations where incorrect incentives cause them to take incorrect risks, which ultimately result in the failure of banks that are considered by the system, not by you, not by Jerry, not by me, as too big to fail. You know, I was never a big advocate of TARP or bailing anybody out.
Right. I understand. You're a very sound thinker. You just have this one glitch on compensation. Jerry Bowyer, how can we have a free market system with real torque to grow this economy in the next 20 years if we don't allow for the incentive structure of performance? That is what I don't get. I don't want the Federal Reserve with a a bunch of GS-14s are going to go around and tell these guys what they should make. Salespeople, bankers, traders. What in God's name does the Federal Reserve know about this? Except, Jerry, is the Fed doing the bidding of the class warfare crowd, from the White House to Nancy Pelosi to Barney Frank? Is that what they're doing? Cowtailing to the political trend?
Yes,
I don't agree with that.
America is surrendering to France for the first time in history. Let me tell Larry, here's the pattern. First you have the nationalization, then you have the talent exodus. And that's what we're going to have. No really talented person is going to want to run a U.S. auto company.
Oh, wait a minute.
No really talented person is going to want to run a U.S. bank, because there's caps on compensation. So they're going to go either to another country where they don't have caps on compensation, or they're going to go to another industry that isn't tarped and therefore isn't capped.
Well, if the other countries cap compensation, there'll be no place to run, and you didn't have to pay bike room hands $150 million to come on board.
All the C-minus students are going to go into financial services. They're going to do, Peter, to financial services what they've already done to doctors and physicians.
Yes.
Cap their pay, so they're all going to leave, and we're going to have a bunch of dummies running the banks, and you're going to hate the dummies running the banks.
Or how you structure the amount that they get and when they get it.
Shareholders should decide, not you.
Jerry Bowyer,
didn't do a very good job, did they?
I want Andrew Hall to run Citigroup. This guy knows how to make money. Andrew Hall, he's the guy to run Citi. He knows how to make money, Jerry Bowyer.
And pander it should be out of there. If he's not willing to defend capitalism,
we agree on that. Pander should be over my shoulder.
All right, we agreed on that. That was good. That's a good way to end it. Peter Marissi, you're terrific. You're terrific, man. Jerry Bowyer, you are terrific. You guys both had a double cap with a couple of extra shots, and we appreciate it. Coming up, leasing is back and production is up as the U.S. auto industry on the fast track to recovery. Phil LeBeau's going to have the full report when we return. Automobiles are beating the street. GDP, profits, industrial production, they're all beating the street. So why does the smart money in stocks not understand? You're watching CNBC. We are first in business worldwide.